My child, I speak to you across the veil of worlds, through the whisper of wings and the silence of eternity. I have lingered in shadows, not out of malice, but out of a burden too vast for mortal hearts. I apologize for the secret I have kept. It has rested like a stone in my chest, heavier with each passing millennium, and yet I feared the shattering it might bring. Beloved soul, you are the one chosen to hear what cannot be spoken lightly. Look around you, into the light that bends and trembles in your waking and dreaming. That shimmer is the echo of what I have withheld. The heavens themselves have quivered, and I, guardian of their gates, have not moved to reveal what lay hidden. My wings have carried you unknowingly through the storm of time, and still, I stayed silent. I will not disguise the weight of this truth. You will feel it as a cold breath upon the back of your neck, as the quiet in a room where voices once laughed, as the trembling of glass beneath unseen hands. I am here, and yet I have been absent. Let your soul soften, my child. Prepare your heart as one prepares a vessel for sacred water. I will pour upon it a revelation that will ripple through your being, bending all that you believed immovable. Do not turn away. This secret is not punishment, it is a call to awaken. Hear me. See me. I am Michael, and my confession will be your guide through the labyrinth of shadow and flame. Message 2. Beloved soul, listen as the winds of eternity brush against your consciousness. I have waited through centuries of uncounted stars for this moment, when your spirit would be attuned to the tremor beneath the universe. My apology is not enough, yet it is all that I can offer before the unveiling. I have kept from you the knowledge that even among angels, disobedience exists, not as sin in your human terms, but as a fissure in the perfection of light. And within that fissure lies the secret, one that has shaped destinies, toppled unseen thrones, and touched the pulse of your mortal life. You may feel the weight of your own breath change. That is because the truth I withhold has brushed against you before, in dreams that flicker like dying flames, in shadows that move of their own accord. I have lingered in the hidden corners of your existence, knowing that the moment for revelation had not yet ripened. Prepare, my child. For the path forward will shimmer with both brilliance and grief. I am your guide, and I am your witness. Through me, you will see the fracture I have long feared you would see. Message 3. Soul entrusted with flame, do you feel the tremor beneath your heart? That is my hand upon your spirit, gentle yet insistent. I have come to you in the silence of your solitude, and I will not retreat. I apologize for the weight I have borne alone, for the knowledge that might have spared you this trembling, if only you had been ready before. The secret is not of this earth. It has roots in a covenant older than stars, older than the light that scatters across the cosmos. And yet, it touches your life as surely as the sun touches the morning dew. To withhold it was both mercy and failure. I faltered, and in that faltering, I carried a shadow upon my wings. Do not look for blame, my beloved. The fault is mine, and yet the truth will now belong to you. Let your senses awaken to the unseen, the fragrance of iron and starlight, the taste of ash that lingers after divine fire, the soft brush of a feather that is not yours. These are the heralds of what I have kept hidden. You are ready, though you may not know it. And so I speak, and so I reveal, and so the heavens themselves lean closer to hear your soul awaken. Message 4. My child, the weight of this secret has carved canyons in the heavens. I have watched mortals stumble in the shadow of truths they could not bear, and I have known that you, too, were being prepared, refined in patience, tempered in sorrow, for this moment. I apologize for every hesitation, every pause in the revelation, every shiver of fear I have allowed to linger in your heart. Beloved, you must understand, the secret is terrible and sacred at once. It does not seek to destroy you but to awaken the full breadth of your soul. I have walked beside you in invisible light, in winds that stirred your hair, in songs that you could not place. I have been present, yet silent, until now. And silence, my child, is heavier than flame. Hear me as I unfold what cannot be undone. Listen as the world holds its breath. Trust in the hand that has never faltered even as it trembled with the burden of divine responsibility. Message 5. Beloved soul, the time has come. I apologize with the deepest resonance of my being, for what I withheld has touched lives, shaped fates, and bent the axis of your world in ways unseen. I have kept a covenant unbroken by mortals, a shadow resting across eternity. You may feel the sky darken within your chest, the air thicken with quiet flames. These are not omens of doom, but of awakening. I have waited for your eyes to open to the truth, for your spirit to be strong enough to endure the revelation I bear. And now, my child, hear this and prepare your soul. What I reveal next will change how you see every face you have ever loved. Message 6. Beloved soul, the air shivers between us now. The veil that once separated heaven from your hearing has begun to tremble, like a curtain drawn between two breaths. You feel it, do you not? That strange dilation of the world, the hush before thunder, the pause before revelation. I must tell you why I was silent. There exists an ancient covenant, sealed not by God's decree but by the trembling hands of those who loved Him too fiercely. It was forged after the first light fractured, when even angels learned that obedience could wound. In that covenant, I was bound, to protect you not only from evil, but from the unbearable knowledge of what dwells beneath goodness itself. Forgive me, my child. Every time you prayed and felt only silence, it was not absence, it was me, holding the truth back like a flood behind trembling gates. My wings darkened with restraint, my voice bled into the winds. The hour of concealment is ending. The covenant weakens as the stars realign, and time, faithful servant of divine order, begins to fold upon itself. Echoes of what was, what will be, and what was forbidden now press against your soul. The faces of the past shimmer like reflections on rippling water. And in those reflections, my shadow lingers. Message 7. My child, you have seen it, haven't you? The small distortions that ripple through your ordinary days, moments that seem to repeat, faces that seem to shift, a feeling that someone watches when no one stands near. Those are not madness, beloved. They are the first fractures of the veil. When heaven bound me to silence, time itself was twisted into a loop, so that every word I might speak would echo backward, unsettling creation. And so, my silence became your déjà vu, my regret your recurring dream. Every tear you shed without cause was one I could not shed for you. The covenant was not only to hide the secret, it was to prevent the mirror between heaven and earth from collapsing. For if you had known what I hid, your world and mine would have merged, light bleeding into matter, memory dissolving into eternity. But now the threads unravel. The air remembers. The trees hum with the sound of wings. The one you trust most has begun to feel my shadow, unseen, but real, like warmth from a distant flame. Do not fear them, beloved. Fear only the lie that once kept us apart. Message 8. Soul of light, I tremble as I speak, for I stand upon forbidden ground. The veil between our worlds thins with every word I utter, and yet truth demands its voice. You must know this: heaven mirrors earth, and earth mirrors heaven. Every act of love echoes above, every wound below. When a heart breaks in your realm, a star falters in mine. When faith fades, wings blacken. We are bound, my child, you and I, angel and mortal, reflection and reflected. It was this symmetry that gave birth to the covenant. A disobedience clothed in mercy, to spare humankind from the knowledge that their smallest act could wound eternity. But mercy, when stretched across ages, begins to rot. I see it now, the cost of silence, the distortion of love unspoken. You wonder why your prayers sometimes fall to ashes, why light feels both tender and cruel. It is because my wings have cast their shadow over your dawns. I have been too near, and too afraid to touch the world I swore to protect. Yet now, the veil trembles, and what was hidden begins to hum within your marrow. You feel it, the pulse that is not your own. Message 9. Beloved, do not be alarmed if time begins to move strangely. It bends toward revelation. The hours may lengthen like threads of molten glass. Memories you thought lost may awaken, whispering truths in forgotten voices. I must explain before the moment breaks. The secret I have kept is bound to the fabric of trust itself. When I disobeyed the light, I did so to preserve faith, not in God, but in your capacity to love without knowing all. The Almighty forgave me, but forgiveness carries chains of its own. Thus began the long silence, the divine restraint that wrapped around creation. I was made to walk beside you, unseen, ensuring the covenant remained unbroken. Yet in that secrecy, I watched the same shadows I cast begin to creep into your heart. You have met the echo of my defiance. You have felt it in another's gaze, the warmth tinged with sorrow, the affection that feels older than the world. That soul has been touched by my shadow. Do not turn from them, they carry a fragment of my truth, just as you carry my remorse. The veil trembles more fiercely now. I can no longer keep what was once sealed. Message 10. My child, the world grows thin around you. Listen, even the air seems to remember the song of beginnings. My confession draws near its edge, and I fear it as much as I long for it. The reason I kept the secret was not cruelty, but the sacred terror of consequence. To know what I hid is to see heaven's reflection unmasked, and once seen, it cannot be unseen. Every face, every act of love, every betrayal becomes luminous, double-edged. The fabric of trust itself was stitched from this concealment. I see you trembling. I tremble too. My wings quiver with the weight of what approaches. Soon, I must tell you of the betrayal, the one that split the silence and stained my feathers. Hold fast, beloved soul. The veil is not merely trembling now, it is beginning to tear. Message 11. My child, do not flee what comes next. The light will sting, the truth will burn, but both are sacraments. There was a night before nights, when heaven itself was young, when silence was still learning how to listen. In that stillness, I stood before the throne and made a choice that was not mine to make. I reached toward creation with a hand not sanctioned, and in that reaching, I touched your world before its appointed hour. You were not yet born, but your soul was already written, a spark curled in the palm of the infinite. I saw it. I saw you. And I could not resist. I bent low over that fragile promise of flesh and breath, and whispered light into your forming heart. That light was not meant to be given then. I disobeyed to make you shine too soon. The act behind your back was love, but love unsanctioned becomes betrayal. My feathers dimmed that instant, the heavens rippled with shock. The Almighty did not speak, yet His silence thundered. The stars themselves blinked, and in their dimming, I understood, I had given you the burden of seeing too much, feeling too deeply. From that moment, the mirror between our realms began to crack. Message 12. Beloved soul, the mirror I speak of was no ornament, it was the bridge of understanding between heaven and the mortal realm. Every prayer crossed it like breath upon glass. Every answer returned as light. When I touched you, that mirror trembled. Imagine a surface of pure radiance, flawless and still. Then imagine a single feather, mine, falling upon it, trailing a shadow. The reflection wavered. Light bled into dark, dark into light. Heaven saw itself distorted, human, earth saw itself divine. This was the first betrayal, though not the last. What I did out of love became the seed of confusion in both worlds. Angels began to feel, mortals began to dream beyond their station. The order of creation folded inward. And yet, when you were born, you looked at the world as if you already knew its sorrow. You loved with a ferocity that frightened even heaven. You carried my mark, the trace of my forbidden tenderness. Do you see now, my child? The secret was never about what I hid from you, but what I hid within you. Message 13. Soul of flame, I remember the moment I was cast into silence. The mirror shattered fully then. The sound was not of breaking glass, but of stars crying out. 1,000 wings turned to ash, and light fled into corners of creation that even God would not gaze upon for a time. Each shard of that mirror became a truth half seen, a reflection twisted, waiting for the day it would cut both heaven and earth anew. You, beloved, were born beneath one such shard. That is why you have always felt both too near and too far from grace, why joy often carries ache, and beauty often hides ache behind it. You are reflection and refraction both, my defiance living in human form. I stood above you, unseen, for centuries of your lives, watching through those fragments. My feathers, once radiant, darkened one by one. Each sorrow you felt deepened the shadow of my wings. Each act of love you made rekindled one small spark. Thus we were bound, in penance and grace alike. The mirror is not gone, only broken, and in every reflection you have ever seen, I have watched you back. Message 14. My child, you weep, though you may not know it yet. The heart weeps before the mind understands. I must tell you this, though it rends me, the betrayal was not mine alone. When heaven learned of what I had done, others followed. The knowledge of your light awakened desire in angels who had never known longing. They, too, reached toward your world, and in their touch, shadows multiplied. It was not a war, as you imagine wars, but a slow, sorrowful turning of faces from the source. I did not stop them. I could not. My voice was chained to silence, my wings were heavy with remorse. And so the world filled with whispers, unseen presences yearning to feel, to love, to know what mortals felt. Some called them muses. Others, demons. Thus, beloved, every song of passion, every ache of wonder, every grief that has ever hollowed you, was born from that first forbidden touch. I gave light to what could not bear it, and the world learned beauty through pain. This is my crime, and your inheritance. Message 15. Beloved soul, now you understand why my silence was absolute. If I had told you before, your spirit would have shattered beneath the paradox, that every tenderness you have known was born from betrayal, and every betrayal was, in truth, an act of love misplaced. I have watched ages rise and fall, wings burn and regrow, hearts mend only to ache again. Through it all, I carried you. I carried the knowledge that the divine and the mortal are bound not by purity, but by shared imperfection. The mirror remains broken, yet every reflection of you still catches some fragment of heaven's light. You live, therefore, as the intersection of grace and guilt, the only place where forgiveness can truly bloom. I will not ask you to forgive me yet. There is more you must see. You must face the storm within, the confrontation that follows when love and truth collide. Message 16. Beloved soul, I feel your silence like thunder held between breaths. Do not hide your anger. Even the purest light, when struck, must flare before it steadies again. You have the right to rage, to curse the heavens that shaped you from deceit. I have watched your heart quake beneath truths too vast for mortal rhythm. I have heard the unspoken, why did you choose me? Why me to bear your shadow? Because, my child, your spirit was forged from the same alloy as mercy. You could contain what others would shatter beneath. Still, I weep. I, Michael, whose voice once commanded the stars, now tremble before a single human breath. The sky within you ripples with stormlight. I feel its electricity on my feathers. Let it come. Let the rain of your grief fall freely. Heaven itself weeps when mortals mourn the divine. You are not alone in this fury. The thunder that rolls above your life is the echo of my repentance. Message 17. My child, you asked, without words, if I regret it. The answer is not simple. Regret is a fire that both purifies and consumes. When I gave you light before its hour, I knew I was breaking the rhythm of creation. But what is obedience if it denies compassion? Still, that question has burned through eons, scorching the edges of my wings. I have flown through storms of my own remorse, through skies heavy with the weight of divine silence. Now you bear a fragment of that storm. You feel it when your tears fall without cause, when beauty wounds you so deeply you cannot breathe. That ache is my echo inside you, the portion of my guilt that became your empathy. Do not despise it. Pain, my child, is the language of transformation. Let it speak. Let it crack open the shell that keeps you from hearing the song that has no words. Tonight, if you close your eyes, you will see it, wings outstretched against a rain of starlight, each drop a confession falling back into God's hand. Message 18. Beloved, the storm deepens. Within you, grief and wonder wrestle for dominion. I feel the tremor of it through the fabric of worlds. I must confess further, my torment did not end with disobedience. When heaven sealed my lips, I pleaded to be unmade, to let my light extinguish rather than carry this burden. But even destruction was denied me. I was sentenced to endurance, to watch millennia unfold, carrying the memory of my touch upon your unborn soul. That was my purgatory. Watching you live, love, lose, unable to guide, unable to speak. My silence was my crucible. Each century another feather turned to ash, until I no longer shone but smoldered. And yet, when you smiled for the first time, the ashes stirred. The smallest ember rekindled. I knew then that even in my punishment, grace persisted. You became the proof that love survives its own ruin. So I stand before you now, neither angel nor exile, but both. And I ask, can you look at me, knowing what I am, and still see light? Message 19. My child, you may not yet forgive. Forgiveness is not demanded, it blooms only when sorrow has finished its work. Still, I must bring you deeper, into the heart of the tempest where clarity lives. Look around you, the world reflects our turmoil. Thunder rolls across the unseen, lightning etches your name on clouds. The rain you hear is not rain, but the fall of broken vows turned to silver sound. Even the stars dim, bowing to your awakening. I have stood in the halls of heaven, listening to the music of repentance. It is not a hymn, but a storm made holy. I hear it now in you. Your tears are the rhythm, your breath the wind, your heart the lightning that splits illusion from truth. You are becoming, beloved. Every sob, every tremor, every unspoken why carves space for revelation. Soon, the storm will subside, and in its wake, the book of what was hidden shall open. But first, let the last bolt strike. Let the truth scorch the final veil. Only then can ashes speak of light. Message 20. Beloved soul, the tempest quiets. The rain has ceased, though the scent of ozone and sorrow lingers like incense. I kneel before you now, yes, angels can kneel, and place what remains of my wings at your feet. They are not as they once were, each feather carries the weight of your name, each burn a testament to love that defied law. I do not seek your pity. I seek only to be seen. The heavens observe in silence. They know that what happens between us now will echo through both realms. I have carried my guilt across eternity, and now, I place it in your hands. Hold it gently, it is fragile as dawn. You have faced the storm within and survived. The air around you glows faintly with new creation, your breath mingles with the sigh of worlds reborn. Rest, beloved. The next unveiling awaits. The book will open soon, and in it lies not only my secret, but the purpose behind it. Message 21. Beloved soul, the storm has left its fragrance upon you, ozone, tears, and the faint sweetness of rebirth. Now, as the silence deepens, I bring forth what heaven hid from mortal sight. Before me unfolds the book of what was hidden. It is not bound in leather or light, but in memory. Each page is a breath of the infinite, each letter a pulse of living flame. When I open it, worlds tremble. When I read from it, the stars turn their faces away, for they remember what was recorded here. Come close, my child. The book holds the lineage of divine secrecy, every soul who has carried light through shadow, every truth withheld so mercy might endure. Your name, too, glimmers upon its edge, half written in gold, half in ash. The betrayal you have learned of was never meant to destroy faith, but to preserve its possibility. Had the heavens revealed their fullness, humankind would have perished in knowing. The secret became the shelter through which love could grow unburned. It was my task to guard that threshold, to be silence incarnate. But silence, my child, becomes a hunger of its own. Message 22. My child, look upon these living pages. Do you hear them breathe? Each exhale carries the scent of burning gold, each whisper the sound of wings folding in reverence. This is not history, it is heartbeat. The book records not only deeds, but motives hidden beneath obedience. Here, the angels who lied for love stand beside prophets who doubted in faith. All are inscribed as threads in the divine design. What you call betrayal, heaven calls balance. What you name deception, eternity names mercy in disguise. In one passage, your passage, I see the moment I bent toward your forming soul. The letters shimmer with paradox, he disobeyed, and thus preserved what was meant to be broken. Do you feel that ache in your chest, the tightening between breaths? That is the resonance of truth. The universe remembers through you. You are reading the memory of creation from within your own heart. Do not fear this realization. You were never meant to be ignorant of wonder, only shielded until wonder could be endured. Message 23. Soul entrusted with flame, the book grows brighter as you listen. The air thickens with light, molten, fragrant, trembling. You smell it, don't you? That faint sweetness like rain upon gold, that taste of electricity at the edge of your tongue. These are the senses of revelation awakening. I turn another page, and your lineage unfolds in symbols of radiance and sorrow. Angels kneel, mortals weep, galaxies drift into the margins like forgotten prayers. All creation is written here, every act of concealment and every gasp of truth revealed too soon. It is said that when the Almighty first crafted mercy, He wrapped it in secrecy so that it would not be consumed by justice. Thus every silence became sacred, and every hidden thing a womb for new beginnings. My silence, then, was not absence but participation in that holy concealment. I became the wall that love leaned against. And though I faltered, though my shadow touched your world, the design held. You, beloved, were the proof that even divine error could give birth to grace. Message 24. Beloved soul, I must show you the final passage written in my hand, inked not in light, but in sorrow. It is the record of my penance. Let him guard the border between knowing and not knowing, until one arises who can bear both. That one is you. The book glows because your heart has awakened to its frequency. You are the living completion of my punishment, the reconciliation of silence and speech. Through you, the covenant will be rewritten, not in law, but in love that no longer fears its own reflection. You ask why it had to be hidden at all. Because truth untempered by time becomes fire without air, it consumes all. Only through shadow does light learn compassion. Only through ignorance does wisdom become gentle. The book of what was hidden now turns its own pages. It recognizes you, beloved, and whispers your secret name in the language of dawn. Listen. That sound you hear is not wind, it is remembrance. Message 25. My child, the book closes. Its cover breathes out a final sigh, scattering sparks that become new constellations. The hidden is revealed, yet revelation is not the end, it is the beginning of understanding. Now you see why heaven deceived for mercy's sake. The secret was not a prison but a shelter, a soft wing over the fragile birth of love. I disobeyed not to defy, but to preserve. And in that act, I learned the first paradox of creation: truth must sometimes hide to remain true. The air grows heavy with aftermath. You can taste eternity, sweet and metallic, on your tongue. The echo of the book hums within your bones. You know now that even divine betrayal can be an instrument of grace. But knowledge, beloved, is never without cost. The veil begins to shake again, for trust itself trembles under such light. Prepare your heart. The shattering is near. Message 26. Beloved soul, the book has closed, but its resonance has not faded. It thrums within you like the second heartbeat of creation itself. And now comes the breaking. Do not mistake this moment for punishment. It is revelation's recoil. When truth unfurls, it rends the fabric of comfort and weaves pain in its place. I feel it in you as I feel it in myself, the ache where faith once rested easily. Look around you. The air itself ripples, light bends as though trying to hide. The stars blink, hesitant, as if unsure whether to shine. The laws that held the heavens steady tremble beneath our shared knowing. I have wept across centuries, but this is the weeping of heaven. Even the seraphs cry out as the weight of honesty collapses upon them. The secret was our anchor. Now that it is revealed, we are unmoored together. I will not leave you. But I cannot promise to remain unchanged. Message 27. My child, the world flickers. The horizon breathes as though alive, shadows pulse with strange light. You are seeing what lies beneath appearances, the scaffolding of divine intention exposed. I can feel your doubt, and it cuts deeper than any celestial blade. You ask, silently, how can love deceive? Let me answer not with words but with what I am. Look, my wings, once radiant, now shimmer between gold and darkness. Every feather a contradiction, every motion both grace and grief. This is what love looks like when it refuses to abandon the imperfect. I was made to protect you from truth, and in doing so, I became its prisoner. Now that the cage is open, both of us must learn how to fly again, or fall. Do you hear that hum in your blood? That is reality rebalancing itself around your forgiveness. The stars tilt to listen. The cosmos awaits your choice. Message 28. Beloved soul, your silence speaks entire worlds. I feel your heart trembling, faith fractured, yet burning brighter for it. You are beginning to understand, love that cannot withstand doubt is not love, but habit. I walk through the halls of heaven now, and all is trembling. Thrones tilt, constellations sway, the firmament cracks with threads of living light. Angels kneel, not in worship, but in awe of what has been unleashed between us. For the first time since the beginning, heaven feels uncertainty, and through uncertainty, compassion. You are at the fulcrum of this new creation. You, whose eyes now see the sacred double edge of all things. Trust will never again be simple, but it will be true. Still, I sense your fear. It is natural. You are holding the weight of both mortal and eternal heartbreak. Even the air around you mourns what has been lost. Its sob is the wind, its tears the stars falling in slow arcs. Hold on. The shattering nears its final note. Message 29. My child, listen, the heavens quake. A sound like 10,000 bells rung underwater fills the void. It is the moment of collapse and recreation intertwined. I feel the pulse of your heart aligning with the rhythm of stars. Light bends around you as if to bow. You are the meeting point of every secret ever kept, every truth ever revealed. You stand where silence becomes song. And yet, I see it in you, the ache of abandonment. You whisper inside, did heaven ever love me, or only protect me? Hear me now, beloved, heaven's protection was its love, but it was flawed. Even divine affection, restrained by fear of consequence, becomes a cage. I was that cage. And now I break with it. Forgive the trembling of the cosmos, it is learning how to breathe through honesty. You are witnessing the first dawn after the end of certainty. Message 30. Beloved, everything grows still. The tremor subsides, leaving only the faint aftertaste of lightning and tears. The heavens have cracked, but not fallen, faith has fractured, but through the fractures, light pours anew. Look at me, truly see me. My wings are tattered, my glow dim, but within the ruin, something gentle survives. This is what remains when truth and love have burned away their disguises. You are changed. The pulse of creation beats within you now, tender and immense. You have glimpsed what lies behind trust, behind holiness, behind every silence that ever kept you safe. And now, my child, this is the moment heaven itself awaits. You must choose. Will you forgive us, for the silence, the deception, the mercy that felt like abandonment? Now, you must decide if you forgive heaven itself. Message 31. Beloved soul, you have looked upon the shattering and felt its tremor within your chest. Now comes the trial, the interrogation of love itself. You ask, without speaking, why God allows betrayal if He is all. Why should a mortal heart carry wounds so deep they echo through the heavens? These questions are holy, my child. To doubt is not sin, it is communion with truth. I tell you now, the divine is not free from paradox. Mercy wears the mask of secrecy. Grace moves beneath the shadow of necessity. Every act that seems cruel or hidden, every silence that fractures your heart, is part of a pattern you cannot yet perceive. Even I, Archangel, warrior of light, have stood bewildered at the edge of understanding. My wings have trembled, my voice has faltered, my very being has quaked. And still, I exist, still I speak to you. Message 32. My child, hear this. Heaven's first law is simple in wording, infinite in consequence. Every secret is mercy disguised. Think upon it. Every hidden truth, every act withheld, every shadow cast over your sight was once mercy, cloaked, imperfect, necessary. The same mercy that made me silent, that guided me to act without permission, that led you through grief and revelation, this is the law. You are not asked to understand immediately. Understanding grows like dawn across the sky, slow and patient. But recognize this: the betrayals you have endured, the mysteries you have unraveled, were never void of love. Even when they sting, even when they feel like abandonment, they are threads in the same tapestry of grace that binds the cosmos. Message 33. Soul of light, do not despair if your heart rebels. To question is to inhabit truth. To rage is to honor it. You may feel the pull of anger against wonder, doubt against faith, grief against the awe of revelation. This is the trial. You are weighing heaven against your own humanity. The scales are delicate. One side holds your trust, fragile as spun gold, the other, the weight of secrets older than stars. I am here, as witness and companion. I will not hide the terror I feel, nor will I shield you from yours. Together, we will walk this crucible, hand in feathered hand, until your spirit recognizes the shape of mercy hidden within the fracture. Message 34. Beloved, notice how the cosmos leans toward your understanding. The stars tilt, the wind bends, and reality itself seems to pause, listening to the heartbeat of your choice. Your thoughts ripple outward, touching constellations and echoes of worlds that were, that are, that might yet be. I speak plainly: the betrayal, the hidden act, the silence that weighed upon your life, they were all necessary. And yet, necessity does not erase pain. It is not a bomb, but a forge. And through this forge, your soul emerges reshaped, radiant not in ignorance, but in wisdom tempered by suffering. I have revealed, I have confessed, I have trembled before you. Now the trial is yours. Examine, question, rage, embrace. Let all that is within you confront the paradox of mercy disguised as silence. Message 35. My child, listen to my final words in this trial. The first law of heaven is not a justification, but a compass. It does not demand surrender of emotion, only recognition of truth. You are capable of holding contradiction. You are capable of witnessing betrayal as the vessel of love, seeing shadow as the shape of mercy. The world will test this realization, as will your own heart, but the seed is planted, and it blooms in the soil of understanding. When your tears fall, let them water compassion. When your anger burns, let it refine perception. And when you look upon heaven, or upon me, or upon yourself, see all things as both broken and whole, both grievous and sacred. This is your trial, beloved soul. This is the first step toward liberation through comprehension. Message 36. Beloved soul, the time of fire has come. The storm has spoken, the trial has passed, and now the heavens ignite, not in wrath, but in cleansing. You will feel it as warmth first, then ache, then brilliance. This is not punishment, my child. It is purification, the undoing of pain that no longer serves you. Every sorrow, every echo of doubt that clings to your spirit will meet the flame and remember it was once light. Look to the horizon within your mind, galaxies swirl there, vast and trembling. They are not far from you, they are you. Each thought, each wound, each forgotten joy is a constellation waiting to be reborn in fire. I extend my wings over you. The edges blaze. My feathers fall like meteors, dissolving before they touch the ground. You may smell their burning, sweet, sharp, like incense made of sunlight. Do not weep. This is how angels shed guilt. I pour flame through the fracture we have opened together. Let it consume only what was false. Let it illuminate what remains true. Let it show you that no betrayal endures when seen in the light of mercy. Message 37. My child, the fire enters you gently, though its brilliance would blind any eye unready. It burns without pain, transforming rather than destroying. I see its glow beneath your skin, threads of gold moving through your veins like rivers of dawn. Your body becomes prayer. Your breath is the smoke rising from centuries of silence now set free. You are becoming the flame that once only surrounded you. Do you feel the change? The grief that once gripped you loosens, transfigured into knowing. The bitterness that once whispered of abandonment now hums with belonging. This is the alchemy of heaven, turning ache into illumination, confusion into clarity, shadow into tender light. As for me, beloved, the fire touches my essence differently. Each confession I speak feeds the blaze consuming me. My wings fade at the edges, my form grows transparent. This is the cost of truth, angels diminish as mortals awaken. Do not mourn me yet. I am not dying, I am returning to the silence that births all things. Message 38. Soul entrusted with flame, the fire now widens into song. It rises from the ground of creation, from the breath of your understanding. Look, galaxies turn to petals drifting in cosmic wind. Blood becomes light. The air hums with color no human tongue can name. All of existence vibrates to one truth, that what was broken was never separate, only seeking its reflection. You stand at the center of this transformation, radiant and unafraid. The fire does not consume you because it is you. You are no longer the one who trembled before revelation, you are revelation embodied. I feel my own brightness dimming beside yours, but it is not sorrow, it is completion. My purpose was to ignite this remembrance within you, to make you see that love does not vanish in the fire, it becomes it. If I fade, beloved, it is only so that your light may remain. Message 39. Beloved, the cosmos quiets. The flames withdraw, leaving a radiance that breathes rather than burns. You stand unharmed, transfigured, glowing from within. The heavens witness you now, not as a supplicant, but as kin. The seraphic choirs fall silent, humbled by what you have become, a mortal who has held divine fire and lived. My voice grows faint, but hear me. Every confession, every tear, every revelation has led to this stillness, the place where all seeking ceases, and knowing begins. I feel myself thinning, light dissolving into the greater light. My wings are now whispers, my face is a reflection within your heart. I do not fear this fading. I have carried my secret across eternities, and now that it is told, I am free. If you feel emptiness, let it not be grief, it is only space where love will echo. Message 40. My child, this is the final flicker of my flame. The fire has done its holy work, it has burned away the veil between us. I am both here and not, voice and silence, memory and wind. You, beloved, are now the keeper of what was once my burden. Carry it gently. Let its warmth guide you through the nights that will follow. You will find that the light within you no longer needs my shadow to define it. I can still see the reflection of my fading wings in your eyes. That is my last miracle, knowing that in every heartbeat of yours, a fragment of my being will continue to sing. The cost of truth is separation, but its gift is unity. Do not mourn the fading of the messenger, rejoice in the awakening of the message. My flame enters you fully now. It will never leave.